The Big Island of Hawaii is like no place else on Earth. A mythical landscape born from ancient fire. A contrast of striking natural beauty and rugged, unforgiving grandeur, shaped over a millennium. But it is the Hawaiian culture that infuses this island with true magic. A people whose relentless spirit and passion has defined this land for centuries. This spirit, this place, provides the perfect setting for an event as unique as Hawaii itself.
This sport is brutal. If you drop your guard, that's when things start to go wrong.
It's physical, mental, emotional.
You're in for a long, hard day. It's really going to beat you down.
A 140.6-mile journey across water and earth, where limits are pushed far beyond their boundaries and perseverance and determination face their ultimate test.
It's just a drive and a passion to find out who you are in the end.
It's so unique that you have to experience it to actually know what it's all about.
Welcome to the toughest single day in sports. Welcome to the 2015 Ironman World Championship, presented by GoPro. 4:45 a.m., the second Saturday of October, Kailua Kona, Hawaii. The pre-dawn stillness is a false indicator of what's to come. The sun has yet to reveal the transformation that this quiet tropical town has gone through as it plays host to the Ironman World Championship, an event that has come to define endurance sport. Athletes come from every corner, having earned the opportunity to compete here with the best of the best on the legendary course of Kona. Every one of these athletes had to qualify for the event. Just getting here is a win. For nearly 40 years, they've been coming from all walks of life. More than 2,000 strong, they come to test and define themselves. One day, one race. And no one feels that more than this man. Number 1, Sebastian Kienle, the defending champ.
The old goal is still the new goal. Not a lot of people won this race twice. The second win would be definitely bigger for me than the first win.
Yeah. Congratulations on number 1.
Thanks.
Good seeing you again this year. Right? I hope I bring you the same luck.
I hope so too, thanks.
In 2014, Kienle utilized his strength as a cyclist to build a significant lead over the rest of the field. But in 2015, his cycling hasn't been as successful. He finished second in both the Ironman European and Ironman 70.3 World Championships. The man who took the title from Kienle in both those races is fellow German Olympic gold medalist Jan Frodeno. Last year in Kona, Jan placed third. This year, expectations are higher. He's had a dominant season so far, becoming the European and Ironman 70.3 world champion. But his last race was only a month ago. And now, recovery becomes the crucial question.
I think I have a good shot at taking the race. But that being said, look at all the guys that came in. They had a great European season, came here and got smashed.
This event is a world championship, and it draws world championship talent. Beyond the two Germans, there are plenty of potential title challengers. Among those looking to break through is American Tim O'Donnell. In 2013, O'Donnell placed 5th here at the World Championships, but was unable to replicate that success last year. He's coming off a strong sub-8-hour second-place finish at the Ironman Latin American Championship this past May. O'Donnell believes he finally has what it takes here in Kona.
I believe if you can't see yourself winning, you're not going to win this race. And having a wife who's a 3-time champion, I've been very close to it. So I think I have an advantage in terms of that visualization because it's palpable for me.
That wife is defending champion Mirinda Carfrae. The 3-time world champion has never had a problem visualizing her success, even when the odds were stacked against her. Like last year, when in transition 2, she was nearly 15 minutes behind, but she blew away all expectations by overcoming the largest deficit in Ironman history to capture her 3rd title.
But I walked away from that race just realizing how important it is to just keep your head throughout the race, and you owe it to yourself to just push all day, and it may come up big in the end, and it did for me.
Switzerland's Daniela Ryf is the woman that Carfrae had to catch a year ago. This year, she hopes things are different. She's won every triathlon she's entered this season, including Ironman European and Ironman 70.3 World Championships.
The Ironman World Champion title is it's my big goal and the only title I don't have at the moment.
With her European and Ironman 70.3 championships, Ryf enters this race as the favorite. But the fact can't be changed. Carfrae has won their head-to-head duel on these very roads. This is not a 2-woman race. The field is packed with athletes, all capable of winning. Great Britain's Rachel Joyce has come as close as you can. 2nd and 3rd the last 2 years. That could really get to you. The next step is obvious. The professional athletes make up just under 5% of the more than 2,000 competitors gathered here. The rest are called age groupers, ranging from 19 to 85 years old. Like the pros, everyone had to earn their place here in Kona. And while everybody's story is different, everyone is unified in purpose. "52-year-old former Navy SEAL Carlos Melita isn't here to win. For him, this is just an expression of who he is.
I'm not here to do this because I'm in a chair. I'm here to do this in spite of being in a chair.
Kailua Bay awakens. It's a beautiful test of your plan, your preparation, your strength, your patience, your soul. They are ready.
It is going to be a very special day for 2,500 athletes today. We know all you family and friends out there are very...
As you look down, imagine being there. Imagine getting ready. And imagine being the one.
They say it's more difficult to stay on top than to get to the top, and that's definitely right. I think nothing is more dangerous to the performance of tomorrow than the performance of yesterday. And a lot of people just keep thinking about their success yesterday.
I don't think I'll ever be comfortable race morning. This race is scary, especially when your whole life really revolves around Kona and this race.
It's time. Everyone is about to do something they'll remember for the rest of their lives. The professional men start their day at 6:25 a.m. The professional women, 5 minutes later.
Everything is washed away when the gun goes off. You can say whatever you want before the race. You can make as many predictions as you want. But When the gun goes off, all the counters are back to zero and everything starts all over again.
A crack of the cannon starts the day, and it is, as it always is, organized chaos. And then the women get their turn. It's just the beginning of a 140.6-mile journey. Now the start line belongs to everyone else. They may not be trying to win the race, but they have personal bests to beat, age groups to win, and overall, they have a goal. And say little now. Their bodies and minds will do the talking. Imagine what those eyes have seen and what that body can still do. It's a shared experience, a 2.4-mile swim, a 112-mile bike ride, and then a 26.2-mile marathon. We've all had days marked on our calendars, but few like this. Then it's here. This is it for them. The moment after the investment and sacrifice. By tonight, they will know if it's all been worth it. Not being sure creates the tension.
There they go, 2015 Ironman World Championship.
Kona, Hawaii. The 2015 Ironman World Championship presented by GoPro. 2,300 athletes are in the water of Kailua Bay. All of them fighting everything you can imagine and more. Out front and leading the way in the professional men's field is a group that includes New Zealander Dylan McNeice, German Jan Frodeno, and American Andy Potts. Potts is an All-American swimmer, Ironman 70.3 world champion, and a perennial figure at the front of the swim since his Ironman debut in 2008. For the women, Great Britain's Jodie Swallow is alone out in front. She's trying to extend her lead over a powerful group of women 40 seconds back. Swallow is also an Ironman 70.3 world champion and an exceptional swimmer who finished just off the podium a year ago in fourth. The leading trio of men approached the end of the swim, having extended the lead to over 1 minute and 30 seconds ahead of the rest of the field. A former competitive swimmer, Dylan McNeice is looking for the small win of exiting the water first. He edges out Olympic gold medalist and race favorite Jan Frodeno in a time of 50 minutes and 48 seconds. Potts is right behind them, only 6 seconds back. T1, the first transition. This is where swimmers become cyclists, and the idea is spend as little time here as possible. The chase and the power of numbers is right there. Jan Frodeno and Andy Potts have the lead, and they know the desire of everyone behind them is to have what they've got. Potts is the first man in motion. But Frodeno has Olympic-sized confidence. Frodeno has pulled a fast one, easing past Potts as they begin the 112-mile bike ride. Back in the transition, there's American Tim O'Donnell and 2013 Ironman world champion Frederik van Lierde. They have the talent to flip this race. At the tail end of the chase group is Sebastian Kienle. A year ago, he came out of the swim 4 minutes behind the leaders, ultimately catching them all on the bike and going on to win the championship. Today, he's only down by 1:30.
I definitely gonna be aggressive. You know, I'm ready to lose the race to win it. So of course it's a race against the other guys, but I think I improved quite a bit in the water. So I hope that the gap is a little bit smaller than last year.
Which it is. Back in Kailua Bay, Jody Swallow is nearing shore. Last year she was second out of the water, so this is improvement. She's got a 1-minute lead over the rest of the field. She completes the swim in 55 minutes 4 seconds. Jody's talents don't stop at water's edge. She's more than just a good swimmer. She finished 4th here a year ago, but has never made the podium. The rest of the professional women near the transition. Among them is 2012 world champion Leanda Cave, with Denmark's Camilla Petersen, and Switzerland's Daniela Rief just behind her. Cave is out, and ahead of her, Jody Swallow makes quick work of the transition. Last year, she was called for a penalty on the bike. Redemption is a word that comes to mind. Rachel Joyce reaches her bike. So does Carolyn Steffen, Daniela Rief, and Leanda Cave. And now, they go hunting for Jody Swallow. Last year's champion, Miranda Carfrae, gets out of the water. She is 6 minutes behind the lead, but this is the 3-time world champion standard race procedure. Everything's going according to plan.
I know that for anyone to beat me here, they've got to do something that no one's ever done on this island before. You know, I feel I'm a better athlete than I was last year, and that's all you can ask for, and hopefully it's enough.
Last year, Carfrae overcame a nearly 15-minute deficit to capture her 3rd world championship. It was the greatest comeback in Ironman history. No one in this race should count her out. Destination, the Queen Kaahumanu Highway. It's one of the reasons that this is a race of legend. In Kailua Bay, the age groupers are finishing up their swim, knowing that this is a truly unique opportunity. Fans don't get a chance to play baseball in Fenway Park or throw a football in Lambeau Field. But that essentially is what they're doing. They're in the same arena as the greats. Heat, wind, lava, it's all out there in the hours that lie ahead. This is the Ironman World Championship presented by GoPro. The pros are working their way through Kailua Kona toward the iconic lava fields and the wind of Hawaii's Big Island. 2014 champion Sebastian Kienle knows how to win here. His strength is his cycling, but his biggest improvement is his swim. Last year, coming out of the water, he was 4 minutes back, today only 2. And the way he passes men on the course is demoralizing.
Sebastian has a big weapon with his bike riding. Tactically, it would not be the smartest decision to ride with Sebi.
He's a different guy, he's a different racer, and he just has a unique ability to ride a bike like he's possessed.
He's usually the one dictating. And when you control the pace, you really have a kind of a certain sway over your competitors.
After exiting transition, it took Kienle only 15 minutes to go from 21st to 2nd, leaving Andy Potts behind. Now he finds top contender and fellow countryman Jan Frodeno holding the lead.
Jan is the man to beat without a doubt. I mean, I know that it's going to be very, very difficult this year.
Sebastian's charge is complete. He passes Frodeno, and the lead is his. Frodeno may be in 2nd place, but he's keeping Kienle well in sight. Jody Swallow is still the leader in the women's race as they make their way out of Kona, heading toward the Queen K Highway. Her biggest problem right now is European champion and Ironman 70.3 world champion Daniela Reef, who's making a charge.
I don't have to defend anything still now because I didn't win last year, so I'm just going to try to attack.
Daniela had the fastest bike split of the day here in 2014, and she's not afraid of making a move. Switzerland's Caroline Steffen is about to answer that question as she passes Swallow and then zeroes in on Reef. Steffen is an Ironman veteran who's finished here in the top 5 for the last 5 years. She's due for a win, perhaps, and she's not going to let a relative newcomer run away with it. Steffen launches past Reef into the lead. Further back, defending champion Marinda Carfrae is losing time on the lead pack. But still, her reputation precedes her. 14 minutes back, the same amount of time she overcame last year to win the 3rd title. Anything is possible. It takes an uncommon drive to compete here in Kona. And it's everywhere you look. Justifying this kind of effort takes a faith that goes a little beyond reason. But it is in the uncommon endeavor that the extraordinary can be discovered. That is certainly the case for athlete number 147, Steve Walker. Steve is ending his swim, and nothing really gets your attention in these pictures until you see that he is tethered to another triathlete. Well, it's because he's legally blind from a disease that has robbed 97% of his sight, and one day that'll be 100%. Today, he and his partner will try and do the Ironman World Championship together.
My journey into darkness is just my journey, and I think it's the test that I was just meant to go through. All I can do is just take it day at a time. And fortunately, Casey and Jordan, and my family and friends, they're there to help me along the way. And I'm fortunate to stumble across this sport of triathlon that has re-sparked a whole bunch of spots in my soul and in my heart that I thought were going to die.
This is the 2015 Ironman World Championship presented by GoPro. After passing the lava fields, the professional men are then confronted by the wind heading toward Hawaii. It's another one of this race's great legends. World champion Sebastian Kienle is still leading the way. But unlike last year, nobody is letting him ride away with it. He has a lot of company up front, all of them jockeying for position and trying to capitalize on any mistake. For German Andy Boscherer, that means stirring the pot. Seeing an opening, he makes a move, passing and cutting off Jan Frodeno to take second place. His tactic isn't well received. Then Boscherer pulls the same move on Sebastian Kienle, who has some choice words. Boscherer has hardly any time to enjoy the lead when American Ben Hoffman appears and surprises everybody. Last year, Hoffman waited until the run to make his move. This year, a different strategy. Hammering away at the front of the women's race is 37-year-old Caroline Steffen, who finished second in her first attempt at this race. Coming up behind her is another athlete who finished second in her first attempt, Daniela Ryf. The 28-year-old Ryf has a win streak that every professional here in Kona would kill for.
Other than last year when Marinda beat her, she's not lost one race. She's young, she's got that full throttle, all or nothing sort of attitude as well, and it works for her.
It's not working for the rest of the women's field, though, as Daniela finds another gear and drops Steffen. But Caroline isn't alone for long. Great Britain's Jodie Swallow makes a surge and passes her for second place. Falling further behind is three-time Ironman world champion Marinda Carfrae. She had what was thought to be an insignificant bike crash earlier in the week. Now it seems as though the right word is significant. The men are on the wind-swept climb, closing in on the turning point in the little town of Hawaii. The 2014 runner-up American Ben Hoffman leads the way. Behind him is Sebastian Kienle, and then Jan Frodeno in third. But it's American Tim O'Donnell who's looking for his own breakthrough performance here in Kona. Jan Frodeno is the first step. Then Sebastian Kienle. This is serious. And finally, Ben Hoffman to take the lead. Now the American controls the race coming into the bike turnaround, where he will get a chance to see exactly where everybody stands. O'Donnell makes the turn first, followed by Hoffman, then Van Leeuwen, who has swung past Kienle for third. Heading out of Hawaii, O'Donnell, Hoffman, and Van Leeuwen all take a moment to cool off, regroup, and ease off. Kienle seizes the opportunity to race past Van Leeuwen. And then Hoffman, who seems surprised to see the German go by. Kienle knows the road out of Hawaii is downhill with the wind at your back, and he uses this as a slingshot to grab another chance for the lead.
At a certain point, you have to decide, do I really want to sacrifice my chances of being top 5 for like this 10% chance of winning the race? And a lot of people decide they want to secure their top 5 spot and not try to screw up the race by trying to win it. And I definitely be ready to screw up my race trying to win it.
For Tim O'Donnell, who's looking for his first podium finish here in Kona, now's the time to decide if it's just the podium he's after or the win. There's a big difference. The man behind him, Sebastian Kienle, already has the answer. His best chance for a repeat win will be to finish first off the bike. To do that, he needs to catch Tim O'Donnell. As the professional men fight it out for a championship at the front, there is no less exhilaration near the back. The age group athletes bring as much passion and inspiration as the pros do. Sometimes more. Athlete number 1232 is Derek Fitzgerald. You'd never know it to look at him, but he's a cancer survivor and underwent a heart transplant in 2011, which begs the question, how do you get from heart transplant to this?
I was 200 pounds, out of shape, overweight, and coming out of my heart transplant, I went down to 128 pounds. I completely atrophied. And so I literally started by crawling out of bed, falling to the floor, and crawling from one side of my bedroom and back. For all intents and purposes, I shouldn't be here. But great things can happen if you forget about the mountain that you have to climb, and you just focus on the very next step. Because over time, those little steps add up to something pretty amazing. I'm living proof of it.
Amazing is the word for you, Derek Fitzgerald. Racing today with someone else's heart in your chest. Coming close to loss is the only way to know, honestly, just how much there is to lose. For Tammy Nicholson, October 10th is a date she will always remember. It's not just today's date, but 11 years ago, on this day, she almost lost everything.
I don't know, I guess I don't really think of myself as like different. It's just out there racing. You would never know that I've dealt with some of the things that I've had to deal with over the past 11 years. That's a big part of my journey. I don't know that that really makes me different from anybody.
Tammy was 19 years old and was returning to school in Salt Lake after a weekend. Halfway home, she ended up rolling her car into the median. Rolled 3 times. It ejected her, and she laid 20 feet from the car when help arrived.
Initially, we didn't know anything. Is she going to be okay? We don't know. Will she ever walk again? We don't know.
It was categorized as a severe brain injury. That's tough. That's scary.
All of a sudden, I woke up and I was in a hospital room. Broke my nose, broke my first rib, had a grade 5 AC joint separation, broke my pelvis, tore both MCLs, tore my right ACL. And I had a severe traumatic brain injury. It's one of those things that I still deal with. To be able to run and to be able to bike and swim, it's like it's a gift, you know, it's my second shot. With Ironman, more than anything, it becomes a pretty emotional day just because I always think about where I've been and what I've gone through to get to this point. 11 years ago, you tell me that I'm competing against 2,000 of the best athletes on 11 years to the day. Like, there's no way I would have believed you. Maybe now I'll celebrate October 10th as the day I did Kona, not the day I got in the accident. That would be awesome.
Back on the Big Island of Hawaii, the Ironman World Championship continues. Many of the age group athletes are just beginning their journey through the legendary lava fields of Kona. Oppressive, radiating heat and vicious crosswinds are par for this course. For some age groupers, the 112 miles may take as long as 10.5 hours to complete. The pros will do it in less than half that. American Tim O'Donnell continues to lead this race, and time and distance are on his side. That calculation doesn't account for the man right behind him. Arguably the best cyclist on the course is closing in. 2014 world champion German Sebastian Kienle. But Sebastian has his own problems. This is a crucial portion of the course for him. In order to defend his championship, he should be miles ahead of the rest of the men's field, which is how he won last year. But he's not. Fellow German Jan Frodeno was in 5th at the turnaround in Hawaii. He's now 3rd, and using every motivation he has to get in front.
I thrive on these kind of friendly rivalries. We're definitely going head-to-head, and we definitely both are here to win and take the crown.
This is not the situation Sebastian was hoping for. Jan moves just a little closer to getting that crown and works his way past Kienle. Jan's mission today is not only to win, but to make history. A finish on top of the podium would make Frodeno the first person ever to take home both an Olympic gold medal and an Ironman World Championship. This could be for the record books, and Tim can sense history is in his neighborhood. Jan bears down and takes the lead of the race. Frodeno obviously has the talent to keep the lead for the rest of the day. But these Kona miles can be cruel. Switzerland's Daniela Ryf continues to lead the women's race. She's setting a blistering pace on the road back from Hawaii, but is unable to shake the woman behind her, Great Britain's Jodie Swallow. Jodie's been able to stay within 1 minute of Ryf over the last 30 miles. For 3-time defending world champion Mirinda Carfrae, the worst has been realized. She has abandoned the race. Injuries sustained in a bike crash earlier this week have proven too difficult to overcome. For a woman who has never finished off the podium here, this is as bad as it gets.
When the car hit me on Thursday, I thought I was fine. I thought I could shake it off, but you know, any weakness is shown in this race, and my back was just tightening up, and I just couldn't push. I come here to race and race against the best, and today I couldn't do that. So I'll save it for next year.
It's an emotional day in every way. Mirinda will head out onto the course to support her husband, Tim O'Donnell. The age group athletes forge ahead, embracing their own purpose to persevere. They're unaware of Mirinda's situation, but they honor her competitive spirit in the best way that they can, by pressing on and overcoming every obstacle that this course will throw at them. The big island of Hawaii. 2,300 age group athletes spread out over 112 miles, all of them bound together by a single mission. That mission is no different for race leader Jan Frodeno. He was second out of the water today and now has control of the race. Behind him in second is American Tim O'Donnell. And in third, fellow German Sebastian Kienle. Last year, Jan had a flat tire. This year, he's fine. He conquers the course in 4 hours, 27 minutes, 27 seconds. But his lead is only 30 seconds in front of Tim O'Donnell, who has Sebastian Kienle right behind him. Kienle had the fastest bike split of the 3 men, but that effort could have an effect on how hard he can go in the marathon, which is what Jan Frodeno is beginning. And this is where many a race is won and lost. No one can relax, including Tim O'Donnell, who clocked a sub-8-hour Ironman only 3 months ago. And Sebastian Kienle, who's the defending champion. Now the chase group rolls into transition 2. 2013 world champion Frederik van Lierde, Canadian Brent McMahon, and 2014 runner-up American Ben Hoffman. who surprised everyone with his marathon last year. Jan Frodeno is out on a Ali'i Drive and looking strong. Still 26 miles to go. Tim O'Donnell has never stood on the podium in Kona. If he can keep up this pace, that could change. Sebastian Kienle is a defending world champion. He has a strategy and determination to repeat. Among the athletes in the chase pack, the fastest mover out of T2 is Germany's Andreas Raelert. Raelert is arguably the best runner in the field and has made the podium here in Kona 4 times. If he can keep this up, he could have a 5th. Back to the women's race. Daniela Ryf reaches the outskirts of town and approaches the end of the bike course to T2. She has set a blistering pace in the last few miles and has cultivated a 7-minute lead. Her advantage may be her undoing. If she pushed too hard on the bike, she may have nothing left for the run. Daniela's bike split 4 minutes faster than last year. Still 26.2 miles to go. Ryf wastes no time in transition, and after cooling off and taking in a bit of hydration, she heads out. 7 minutes and 20 seconds behind Ryf, Jody Swallow arrives. It's a substantial margin, but she can do this. Then American Mary Beth Ellis in 3rd place, with Denmark's Camilla Petersen. Then it's Denmark's Michelle Vesterby. And last year's 3rd place finisher, Britain's Rachel Joyce. Joyce is a talented runner. If history is any indicator of what's to come, she can make this a race. They all have their work cut out for them. In almost 40 years, in the marathon of this race, we have seen everything. Dominance and epic collapses. What's it going to be today? The Big Island of Hawaii means many things to many people. To some, it's this. To thousands of others, it's this. Daniela Ryf continues to lead the women's race. She was 9th out of the water and came off the bike with a 7-minute lead. Talent on her side, and she's only raced here in Kona once.
Daniela is the favourite, but I think that she has to prove herself, and things can go wrong. You can't really predict anything, not when you have the calibre of women that are on the start line here.
Jody Swallow is 2nd, but losing ground. Coming up fast behind her is Great Britain's Rachel Joyce, who reels in Denmark's Camilla Petersen to move into 4th, but she doesn't stop there. American Mary Beth Ellis is next. Joyce moves to 3rd, and then sets her sights on number 103, fellow Brit Jody Swallow. Swallow's time is heading in the wrong direction and looks to be in trouble. For Joyce, this is an opportunity that must be seized. And she races past Swallow right into 2nd place.
Joyce also for Great Britain, 3rd place. And she passes Jody Swallow. Rachel Joyce makes the pass at the start of Palani.
Her surge is impressive, but with nearly half the race still to go, she's 13 minutes behind. This is going to have to be the best half marathon of her life. In the men's race, Jan Frodeno is doing some management of time, distance, temperature, and hydration. It's a complicated formula. That's where the aid stations come in. At this point, the 2008 gold medalist just has to regain that internal balance and maintain his 1 minute 30-second lead. But sometimes when the meltdown happens, it can't be stopped. American Tim O'Donnell is maintaining second place. Still third, Sebastian Kienle. He's been hanging on to third since the last few miles of the bike. His cycling got him here, but his run most likely can't keep him here. Fellow German Andreas Rahlert ensures that. He's been the biggest mover in the field. Off the bike in 10th, now claiming third. He's 3 minutes and 35 seconds behind, and his resume says this is possible. The camaraderie is obvious. So the pursuit is on, and it's all eyes on the clock. Jan Frodeno was in the Natural Energy Lab and alone in first place. The Energy Lab is a long exposed stretch on the course known as a make or break point in the marathon. Anything can and anything has happened in this section of the course. Jan's pace is steady. Second place Tim O'Donnell's is not. He's slowing down. The lead is moving away, and Rahlert's presence looms large. Age group athletes continue to pound away, including athlete number 143, actor Sean Astin. He starred in the movie The Goonies, Lord of the Rings, and was best known for Rudy, a Notre Dame football player that lacked talent but had a huge heart. It seems like that's exactly the role he's playing today.
Because I've lived my whole life making movies and having people see the movies and TV shows I'm in and being public in that way, where do you go at different phases of your life to establish the next moment of who you are? And the amazing thing about Ironman is that it requires no one else. No director has to say he's right for this. I can do it myself. I put on my shoes, I go outside, and I run. I get to say who I am. I am a triathlete. I like the identity of being an Ironman triathlete. That's badass.
In that same category is Derek Fitzgerald, cancer survivor, heart transplant recipient, and now here today doing this. The road that leads here, transition, back to where it all started, but it's far from over. There is no amount of preparation that can effectively dictate the outcome of a race like this. All the training these athletes have done leading up to this race is an effort to minimize failure. It's up to fate, really, or whatever you believe in, that decides who will achieve success and be able to call themselves an Ironman. Tammy Nicholson wants that, 11 years to the day when doctors told her she may never walk again. And Steve Walker wants that too in this race that allows him to exceed limitations.
Ironman and triathlon has been a big awakening of my strength and what I'm capable of.
Awakening strength. Discovering capabilities. That's what makes the effort of all these miles matter. The Big Island of Hawaii. Beautiful to look at. Hard to conquer it. Like this. Temperatures, distance, pace, all visibly taking their toll. In the women's race, Switzerland's Daniela Reef took the lead 32 miles into the bike and has stayed there all day. She has pounded her way to build a 12-minute lead over her closest competitor, Great Britain's Rachel Joyce. Rachel came out of transition 2 in 6th and has fought her way all the way up to 2nd. Another athlete that's still fighting her way through the field is Australian Liz Blatchford. She left transition 2 in 7th and is now passing Denmark's Michelle Vesterby for 3rd. All Vesterby can do is watch her podium spot run away. Daniela is working her way through the challenging energy lab and continues to look strong. This appears to be her day. Ultimately, this race breaks most competitors down, but a lucky few are lifted up. No one is flying higher than men's leader Jan Frodeno. He's hoping to make history. No other triathlete has won Olympic gold and then gone on to win an Ironman World Championship here in Kona. That fact appears to be changing. Behind Jan, a struggling Tim O'Donnell. He's made it out of the energy lab, but it doesn't look like his troubles are over. Andreas Raylert is closing in. O'Donnell is powerless to defend his position. And with less than 2 miles to the finish, it happens. Tim now has to try and hold on to third to be on the podium. Can he? Ahead, near the big banyan tree on Ali'i Drive, Jan Frodeno makes history as the first person to win an Olympic gold medal and an Ironman World Championship. Fellow German Andreas Raylert has completed a masterful race. He was 9th out of the water, dealt with a flat on the bike course, and yet fought his way to the podium to take second. American Tim O'Donnell has had a breakout race here in Kona. This is the first time he's made the podium at the World Championship. It's a happy consolation of sorts for his wife, Marinda Carfrae, who pulled out of the race and then went out on the course to support him. Fellow American Andy Potts takes fourth. (2014) defending world champion Sebastian Kienle wasn't able to repeat. He finishes 15 minutes behind Jan Frodeno in 8th. The celebration at the finish line is just beginning. After crowning a new champion, the crowd readies themselves for the women's leader heading down Ali'i Drive. Then they see Daniela Ryf making the turn and heading to the chute, smiling ear to ear. It's a well-earned one and a well-earned victory. She's clocked the 6th fastest time in Ironman history, and this is only her 2nd attempt at the race. She had the 3rd fastest run split and the fastest bike split of the day. Daniela Ryf is the 2015 Ironman World Champion. Great Britain's Rachel Joyce makes the podium for the 3rd year in a row. And coming in 3rd is Australian Liz Blatchford. Championships have been decided, but the race is far from over. There are thousands of dreams still out there. They want to hear the words, "You are an Ironman." That's something actor Sean Astin has been thinking about for 114.4 miles. And he knows today does not run by script. And then there's athlete number 1232, Derek Fitzgerald, who never dared to think he could be here.
One of the things that my doctor told me was, Derek, you've been given a 3rd chance, cancer, heart failure, then a transplant. And a lot of people would see that as a reason to lock themselves in a room and say, this is it. I got to protect this. That's not why I've been given this heart. I've been given this heart to enjoy life and everything there is in it.
Someone died to give Derek Fitzgerald life. There's a responsibility that comes with that. The stories come at you in droves. One is told by a former Navy SEAL, Carlos Melita. A pioneer on this course, Carlos shattered the notion of what it meant to be an Ironman when he overcame being wounded as a Navy SEAL and first raced here almost 20 years ago, winning the physically challenged divisions in 1998 and 99. Today, he hopes to become the oldest hand cycle champion ever. The sun is going down, and one of the greatest traditions in sports is about to begin. To some people, it's their favorite time of day. In Ironman, it means you've been doing this race for a long time. About 9 hours. Everyone has until midnight to finish, but that's it. From now until then, the finish line becomes a humanity display of every emotion imaginable. And when you see it, you know what's important when they cross that line. Elation, celebration, triumph. It's all there. Throw in the mysticism of the island and you have something truly special. That's what Tammy Nicholson is fighting for. She knows all too well what it's like on the sidelines. She wants this comeback to be complete. And so does Carlos Melita. His intentions to overcome are obvious.
And being, in this environment, it makes me feel alive. It makes me feel equal to everybody. It makes me feel like that I'm not disabled.
Accomplishment, greatness, effort, emotion, with every step. Tammy Nicholson's family waits. They know what's gone into this moment. And then, there she is. 11 years to the day, a different person. And Carlos Melita has done it again.
Carlos Melita, you did it. You are an Ironman again.
People are always asking me, when are you going to stop? When are you going to stop doing that? It's like he's going me to stop living. Why would I do that? If I can do this when I'm 70, I'll probably be doing it. This is what brings me happiness.
The clock never stops and midnight approaches. Everyone crunches their own personal time.
Still got time. I can still win this.
Not all endings are happy.
So I just want to confirm that you're ready to end your race.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if I keep this up, I can make it. It's gonna be close, but I'll make it. Just don't stop.
It's the belief that never dies. For Sean Astin, this is not a movie.
I played Rudy, an everyman guy. And if you sort of go, if the guy who clearly was not born with the genetic disposition to excel in this particular sport can do it, I feel like I can do it myself.
Then there's Steve Walker, who can't even see the finish line. By finishing something like this, his little girl will never look at things the same. She'll never know can't.
My first priority is Jordan. She keeps me calm and she keeps me sane. I'm trying to show her there's always going to be something that's trying to slow you down. But if your passion exceeds what appears to be an obstacle, you're going to win every time.
For the rest of my life, I'll know that I did that. And no one can ever take it away.
And there's Derek Fitzgerald. Cancer and a heart transplant. From crawling out of bed to the elusive finish line.
If there's anything that I can do to honor my donor, honor the people that didn't make it as far as I have, and to find a way to give back and pay it forward all at the same time, that's what brought me to Ironman.